The L. Douglas Wilder School honors excellence in Virginia government, sponsored by Dominion Energy. Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Nall and Corey Mosley.
We're here on the VCU campus, where the L. Douglas Wilder School of Government and Public Affairs is educating future public servants in their undergraduate programs and enhancing the skills of many current public and nonprofit professionals with their numerous graduate and certificate programs.
A nationally ranked top 15% school, the Wilder School is recognized not only in the Commonwealth, but also nationally and internationally for its work. We had the opportunity to sit down with the school's dean, Dr. Susan Gooden, to learn more.
We're dedicated to excellence in public service. So through criminal justice, urban and regional planning, homeland security and emergency preparedness, public administration, and public policy, we are providing education and training opportunities for not only future public servants, but also those who are currently serving in Virginia government and in nonprofit organizations today through our leadership and education and training programs. So our goal is to continue Virginia's longstanding record of having accurate, excellent, and innovative government approaches.
The school's namesake, Governor L. Douglas Wilder, is actively involved and remains an inspiration today. With his historic inauguration as Virginia's 66th governor, he became the first elected African American to be governor of any state. As a distinguished faculty member in the school that bears his name, the governor's days are filled with lecturing, writing, and media appearances. We're pleased to share his thoughts on the importance of public service.
One of the things that I like, particularly for us being here in the capital city, the influence our school has and should have in formulating what government should do. For the governor of the state to be able to look to what we are doing, or the mayor of the city to look to see what we are doing. I think we know what we are doing, and we've assembled any numbers of scholars, professors, and people who've been experienced in government. And elected office isn't the answer. It's the performance of those in office that could be. And money is never the answer. Money in politics sometimes get twisted up. And we're seeing that on a regular basis. What I like is that Virginia has moved from being so partisan one way or the other, that it's not a red state, it's not a blue state. Some call it a purple state, but I call it a people state. And the people in Virginia still speak, and they speak loudly.
A hallmark of the VCU Wilder School is to recognize public service individuals and organizations, as well as their nonprofit and private sector partners, through the Excellence in Virginia Government Awards. Governor Wilder's leadership and public service were the inspiration for these awards, which recognize outstanding work at all levels of government and nonprofit work in Virginia. The first two Excellence in Virginia Government Award honorees are having tremendous impacts on their communities. The Grace E. Harris Leadership Award is named for VCU's former provost and trailblazer, Dr. Grace Harris. The 2023 recipient is Angela Patton, CEO of Girls for a Change. She's been called a serial innovator, activist, and ambassador for At Promise, as opposed to at-risk girls. She's helping Black girls find their voice and be seen around the world. The Unsung Hero Award is presented to Rebecca Gwynn, who has spent 3 decades preserving Virginia's wildlife and conservation lands. Her bold ideas and success has caught the interest of conservationists across the country. Becky Gwynn is an advocate for the conservation and management of Virginia's fish and wildlife. When construction was to begin on the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, she was asked to find a way to relocate Virginia's largest seabird colony from the South Island of the HRBT to another location.
In 90 days, we converted the open parade ground on the historic Fort Wool Island, adjacent to the South Island of the HRBT, and worked with a contractor to bring out barges to place in the embayment between those two islands, on which we had sand put to provide some additional space for the birds to nest. And they came.
She is now working to create a permanent location for the seabird colony to nest every year.
We're working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers as well to look at and hopefully construct the first artificial island in the Virginia portion of Chesapeake Bay to provide a permanent location for that colony to nest at so that it doesn't have to continue to be around that incredibly busy area of the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel.
Becky never seeks the limelight and recognizes the team effort and success.
Becky is truly an example of someone who thrives working behind the scenes. She's never doing what she does for the credit that may come her way. It's all about the benefit to our public and all about the benefit to our wildlife and natural resources here in the Commonwealth.
Our mission is to prepare Black girls for the world and the world for Black girls.
Angela Patton is breaking down barriers and creating pathways to success through her nonprofit, Girls for a Change. Patton says she wants every girl to be exposed to new experiences and have access to opportunities beyond their imagination.
What we do at Girls for a Change is make sure that every girl is seen, heard, and celebrated by starting with them as early as elementary school and staying the course with them into their early adulthood years.
The girls participate in a variety of programs to grow their confidence, learn valuable leadership skills, and how to turn their hobbies or interests into entrepreneurial opportunities. The teens appreciate Patton's, or Sister Angela as they call her, for her commitment to them.
Now that I'm in Girl Ambassador and doing more Girls for a Change activities, I see how hardworking she is and the opportunities she gives us are limitless, and how I know she puts us on the spot sometimes, but I know she's just trying to prepare us for this world.
Patton says the road hasn't been easy, but she is proud that the organization is still preparing girls nearly 20 years after it started. She's looking to the future with plans to grow in numbers and build a new 3-story facility.
I can tell Black girls my story and know that if I could accomplish this, and I'm still on that road, I know that anything is possible for them as well. No matter what someone says, no matter what voice comes into your head, you got this, girl.
Inspiring work done by Angela Patton and Rebecca Gwynn. In addition to recognizing outstanding individuals and organizations, the Excellence in Virginia Government Awards also provides 2 scholarships for Wilder School students. Let's meet one of the scholarship winners, Sophia Simmons.
In addition to double majoring in criminal justice and homeland security and emergency preparedness, I am a student dedicated to servant leadership as well as civic engagement. And so being awarded the EVGA scholarship has allowed me to focus on my studies as a first-generation and low-income college student without worrying about the financial burden that higher education sometimes presents.
The L. Douglas Wilder School honors excellence in Virginia government, sponsored by Dominion Energy.
We're just outside the VCU James Cabell Library. Libraries have always been a centerpiece of universities and communities.
The 2023 Innovation in Government Award recognizes the Henrico County Public Library and its unique solution to help parents and caregivers access the library. Good government often involves public-private partnerships. The Virginia Department of Veterans Services is being recognized for its partnerships with healthcare providers who allow military medics and corpsmen to translate their military experience into private sector employment.
The Military Medics and Corpsmen program, called MMAC, is a game changer for veterans. Virginia Department of Veterans Services Commissioner Daniel Gade says MMAC is a solution to 2 critical needs.
In a time of workforce shortages across the healthcare industry, and in a time when we have veterans transitioning, what better way to fulfill those needs than by pairing those people up? And so the MMAC program is awesome because what it does is connects veterans who have the right skills in healthcare industry into employers who need those skills.
I've learned a lot in my short amount of time that I was in the military, and I love the fact that I can take those skills that I have learned and translate them into the civilian sector.
The veterans have diverse backgrounds and bring unique experiences to the team. Those who decide to further their education have numerous opportunities.
Many have gone on to either work for a fire department, gain their civilian certification in EMS, or I actually have, I think, 3 out of my 10 current MMAC techs that are in nursing school that are approaching graduation. So we hope to onboard them in nursing roles when they finish.
More than 550 veterans have already benefited from MMAC. Program manager Antoine Jacobs says it offers a bridge of support to civilian life.
We want to keep our veterans here in the state of Virginia so they can work, thrive, and succeed, and be able to give that information and knowledge to someone that's coming out of the service as well.
The Fairfield Area Library is Henrico County's newest library and a gem in the eastern part of the county. The floor-to-ceiling windows, state-of-the-art technology, a specially designed tween space, and community meeting rooms make this building a point of pride for the community.
When this amazing opportunity came on a very vibrant design team for Fairfield, we tried to think through anything we could add that would be convenient and easier for parents.
They developed this innovative, first-of-its-kind computer stations where parents and caregivers can work while a child is engaged with playful learning.
How many dogs do you see? Can you move the dogs?
When we added the work and play stations, we were very mindful of the design elements. We have a lot of nursery rhymes in them. There are a lot of other talking prompts that say, you know, what is the frog gonna do? What do you think the frog is gonna do? With the hopes that that big person then would engage that kiddo with those prompts.
The work and play stations give the children a chance to still be able to express themselves and have some sort of autonomy, and allow the parents to not have to worry as much about their children's well-being because they're right next to them.
The stations were an instant success, both at the library and on social media, where photos like this one on the library's opening day went viral. Those posts garnered international attention and interest. Henrico County Public Libraries has expanded the work and play stations by installing them at other branches.
We were fortunate in that we're well supported by the community, and it allowed us to be creative and innovative in a way that was really wonderful.
The L. Douglas Wilder School honors excellence in Virginia government, sponsored by Dominion Energy.
The Wilder School works hand in hand with policymakers, state and local governments, and nonprofits to provide faculty expertise, research, and public opinion polls to assist their work. Dean Gooden explains.
We have our Commonwealth poll, which is a signature poll that surveys Virginians and gets their pulse on a number of public policy issues. So it might be looking at education and their support for increased tuition across universities in the Commonwealth. It might be on health. It might be on criminal justice. So we really ask everyday Virginians what their perceptions are. And that information is critically important for policymakers and thinking through sort of what is the pulse of individuals.
Honoring an organization or individual who displays a sustained commitment to securing equal rights and justice for all people, the Hill Robinson Expansion of Freedom Award is named for 2 equal rights pioneers, Attorney Oliver Hill and Judge Spotswood Robinson. This year, the award recognizes the late Dr. John Meeser's decades of teaching, scholarship, and community work to address economic and racial injustices. The importance of having stable employment and a way to get there is the focus of Drive to Work, a community organization that assists Virginia residents in restoring their license and driving privileges. Their 2 decades of work is being recognized with the Community Enhancement Award. The sun shines over the Sussex County Courthouse as Kenneth Judkins Sr. arrives for a court hearing. His driver's license was suspended more than 20 years ago, and today he's getting it restored.
Being that I didn't have a driver's license, I couldn't get a job because no one would hire me if I couldn't be able to drive to go do different things for the company. Not having a driver's license is, when they take your driver's license, it's like taking your heart from you. You don't have anything to survive off.
Over the 20 years, his court cases have been archived without being cleared, making it difficult to prove that he's eligible to have his driving privileges restored. He is being represented by attorney Sarah Wilson, president and CEO of Drive to Work. The nonprofit organization is an advocate for people who were previously incarcerated or have lost their driving privileges due to challenges with paying hefty court fines.
Having a driver's license is so important, and I hear it over and over again from our clients, what a difference it makes. When we go to court and they come out with a license, they say, "You've changed my life."
Drive to Work is the first of its kind in Virginia. In addition to offering countless hours of legal services, it also provides driver education classes, license test preparation, and driver improvement courses. In 2019, the organization worked with the Virginia General Assembly to get a new law passed to prevent the loss of a driver's license due to non-payment of court fines or child support. As a result, more than 500,000 people had their license restored. Wilson says giving people a second chance can motivate them to do the right thing.
Getting second chances is so important to people. They may have done foolish things in their younger days or even when they're older, and they know better now. And if you don't give them a second chance, they never improve, and it affects not only them, it affects their family and the community around them, the people that have to drive them places.
It's the best thing that happened to me in quite a long time, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep them this time. This is a second chance for me.
It was the early 70s. John and Sharon Meeser arrived in Richmond for his work at Virginia Commonwealth University. As they began to put down their roots, they were surprised and saddened by the obvious racial divide and injustices they saw.
He was able to portray in such a way with his writings and teaching and scholarship and community work these injustices. And that to me was, I think, it will be his legacy, is just to have us talk and understand and think across racial lines, economic lines, geographic lines, across differences on so many different fronts, and to bring us together.
Meeser would stay at VCU for 30 years, where he was a founding member of the Urban and Regional Studies and Planning program at the L. Douglas Wilder School. By his estimation, he taught more than 6,000 students.
Most of my career has concentrated on race and politics and how African American communities in the urban South, particularly Richmond, Atlanta, and Memphis, evolved into separate cities.
Through Meeser's scholarship, public commentary, and numerous leadership roles in community organizations, he pushed Richmonders to engage in difficult conversations.
And he never allowed us not to face the truth, but he did it with such grace and humility that the walls come down and people really began to recognize that we are all valued. We're all valued. And he just, that was him.
Richmond City Councilwoman Ellen Robertson was also a student of Dr. Meeser and believes his work lives on.
His desire to bring about the level of inclusiveness and equity, not only in the city of Richmond, but specifically in the city and this region, is his legacy that we will always live.
Drive to Work is truly making a difference for hundreds of individuals, and Dr. Meeser has left a strong legacy in his many students, colleagues, and the citizens of our community.
The L. Douglas Wilder School honors excellence in Virginia government, sponsored by Dominion Energy.
The final honoree this evening recognizes a Virginian whose career represents the highest values of public service and citizenship, and who has made a substantial contribution to the good of the Commonwealth. Senator Chuck Robb's public service spanned 5 decades as a Marine, Virginia's Lieutenant Governor, and as a U.S. Senator. The VCU Wilder School honors Charles Robb with the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Born in Arizona in 1937, raised in Fairfax, and educated at the University of Wisconsin, Charles Robb learned the value of hard work and serving the country. He joined the Marines and was an honor graduate of Quantico. While serving in the White House as a social aide, he met the eldest daughter of President and Mrs. Johnson, Linda Bird. The country watched as they married in a White House ceremony in 1967.
I believe that some of your basic values are established when you are very young. And I had parents who helped me understand the rules of life, if you will.
Despite his status as the president's son-in-law, Marine Captain Robb went on to serve a tour of duty in Vietnam and was awarded the Bronze Star. After returning from the war, Robb graduated from UVA Law School and entered private practice in Northern Virginia. Politics weren't far behind. Ben Dendy has held several Virginia cabinet positions and served as a senior staff member under Governor Robb. He began campaigning for him as a 20-year-old college student.
Virginia had gone longer than any other state in the Union without electing a Democratic governor or United States senator. And Chuck Robb gave us the charisma and the image that we needed to win the governor's office.
Former Wilder School Director Bob Holsworth says it was a time of change for the Democratic Party.
And in the late 1970s and early 1980s, Chuck Robb and Doug Wilder, you might say, combined, gave the party a new life and gave it essentially a new direction. And that direction was pretty clear, that on fiscal issues it was going to be fiscally responsible, and at the same time on social issues it was going to be progressive.
As Virginia's 64th governor, Robb focused on teacher salaries, creating the Center for Innovative Technology, and most importantly, worked to make certain Virginia's government reflected its citizens. Virginia's 66th governor, L. Douglas Wilder.
Robb was in a position then to start appointing people at levels, more women, more people, black, younger, and that has continued.
After his term as governor, Robb set his sights on the United States Senate. As a senator, he was known for his willingness to work with both sides of the aisle and take the unpopular positions. In 1996, Robb was one of just 14 senators who voted against the Defense of Marriage Act, which limited same-gender marriage. Before his vote, Robb gave an impassioned speech on the Senate floor, now considered the most important speech of his political career.
He said, we should stand up for what's right. We should stand up against discrimination. He said, this is what this is about, and I'm voting against it.
Now retired from public life, Chuck and Linda Robb's focus is on family and their grandchildren. Robb says he's had a rich life.
I hope I'm viewed as having been fair and reasonable in most cases. I was pursuing admirable goals that made our communities and our country stronger.
We hope you've enjoyed getting to know more about the important work of the VCU L. Douglas Wilder School of Government and Public Affairs,
and their dedication to honoring excellence in Virginia government. Good night.
Thank you for watching the L. Douglas Wilder School Honors Excellence in Virginia Government, sponsored by Dominion Energy.